Hi guys, we are here to review episode 4 of The Last of Us.
We missed the truck part.
Yes.
Where they take Bill's truck after getting the engine or the battery from another car.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, they just take his truck and they're driving through the town. There's no zombies really or infected.
Mm-hmm.
But they have all his guns in the back. And he finds like a magazine, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah.
Like
she took a dirty magazine from Bill's place.
Mm-hmm. And she's like looking at it, she's like, ooh. She just throws it out the window.
Yeah.
But then they're driving through the town and they're talking about something.
Tommy.
Talking about Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Ellie's like, you don't view me as family. And then Joel's like, no, you're cargo.
Yeah.
Like, he still views her as just, like, a mission at this point. Like, he doesn't...
Yeah. They're still trying to get to Wyoming, where Tommy is. Making their way through Kansas City, and they're on the interstate, and they see that the main road has been blocked off by just
a lot of cars.
A lot of cars. And so they have to take this exit, which Joel really doesn't want to do. So he doesn't want to go anywhere that he doesn't feel like he's safe, especially with Ellie with him.
He's driving through this, like, the city, obviously, and there's, like, this guy who's walking, and he's, like, limping, and he's like, help, and
He just...
Ellie's like, you gonna help him? And Joel's like, nope, and he, like, swerves, and then that's when all the raiders, like, they come out of, like, the woodworks, and they're all, like, chasing him and stuff, and shooting,
like,
and
throwing, like, bricks, or, like, something, like, hard, they break his windshield.
Yeah, something, yeah. And they crash the truck into, like, this gas station or something, and this storefront. And they get out of the car, and Joel is just, like, going ham, like, shooting all of them, and kills all of them, tries to get Ellie to, like, leave him and stuff, and so he gives her a gun, and she kind of goes, and that's when Joel gets intercepted.
He doesn't give her a gun, though. She finds that gun.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So, sorry, he doesn't give her a gun, and she kind of goes off, and then he gets attacked by this one person, and he's kind of being overpowered by this guy, and that's when Ellie comes in and shoots the guy. And then it's her, what we think is her first time killing someone, and so she's obviously shaken by it. She's crying, but Joel is kind of like taken aback by her that she saved his life, you know?
And that she has a gun.
Yeah, that she has a gun.
Like, where did you get that?
Yeah, he's been so weird and hasn't given her a gun, and all she has is her little knife. And they're going through the city trying to hide and stuff, and that's when you realize this whole city has been taken over by what you think is Fedra, but it's not Fedra. It's like just
and it's
civilians.
Not Fireflies either.
Yeah, it's just civilians taking over. Yeah. And that's when you kind of you meet someone else named Kathleen, this woman who's like the leader of all these rebels, and she's interrogating this guy. The
doctor?
Yeah, just like the only doctor on the whole little, like, in the whole town or something, and
he's a Fedra doctor.
He killed her brother, right?
No, not him, not the doctor.
But he knew someone.
She's asking where...
He's associated with Henry, which is who she's looking for.
Right.
Yeah. And we don't know who Henry is at this point. We just know it's someone who killed her brother.
Yeah.
And so the whole episode, you're kind of bouncing back and forth between Kathleen, who's like killing people, innocent people, and then Joel and Ellie, who are hiding and trying to like navigate through the city and stuff. And when you get to the end, like Kathleen's really cracking down on finding Henry, and then Joel and Ellie have to like camp out in this like skyscraper. And when they wake up, or before they go to sleep, Ellie's cracking jokes, you know, trying to make Joel laugh. And that's when we see Joel laugh for the first time. Like, genuinely, like, he was, like, snickering. And it was so funny.
I know.
And then they fall asleep, and when they wake up, Ellie's like, Joel, wake up! And when he opens his eyes, there's a little boy holding a gun to his face. Like a 8-year-old, maybe? Like, just...
Yeah, like, really young boy. Yeah.
Yeah. And he has, like, face paint on his eyes, and that's when the episode ends.
Yep. That's the end of episode 4. So, yeah, episode 4. Hi, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed the recap of episode 4. And now I will be discussing my favorite scene, my least favorite scene, and one thing I would change about episode 4. So let's get into it. So... yeah, my favorite scene, it's kind of a small scene. It's not that, like, it's not that important to the plot. I just thought it was really cute. Whenever Ellie and Joel are in the woods and they had to stop for the night before they got into Kansas City. And Ellie is reading out, or she mentions a joke out of her book of the puns, and Joel immediately knew the answer, and I just thought it was really cute that he knew the answer. And then whenever the scene is about to end, he turns over and then like smiles and when he's about to go to sleep. So it just shows that he's warming up to Ellie, which I thought was really cute. My least favorite scene, I would have to say, is when those well, they're not Fedra, they're not Fireflies, they're just some sort of rebel group that rose up after they took over Kansas City. They end up making Joel crash the truck, and then Ellie goes and hides behind a wall, so then she's safe. And my least favorite scene in all of that is when Joel is being suffocated by one of the men, and Ellie has to come out and shoot him, which, I mean, no 14-year-old should have to do ever. But I just thought it was really like a heart-wrenching scene because you could see how much it physically pained her to do that to that man. And then hearing him talk about, like, or just giving Joel his knife and being like, please don't, and then hearing him call his mom's name after Joel is about to, or before Joel is about to kill him. It's really sad scene. Yeah, so that's my least favorite scene. Not that it was bad, it was just heart-wrenching and hard to get through. So one thing I would change. So in this episode, we meet Kathleen, who is the leader of this rebel group, and I really could care less about her. The scene with the doctor, it just showed how bad of a person she was, and, you know, while he was a collaborator, they're also human beings. But I guess, on the flip side, Fedra was doing the exact same thing to them, so it's kind of hard to, you know, decide what side you want to be on. So those are my opinions for episode 4. Thank you guys. Bye. Hey everybody. Welcome to Hayes Review. I bet you're wondering what this is. I will explain. So, I will be ranking my favorite characters from episode 4 of The Last of Us, and in descending order. So I will be going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So yeah, let's get into it. So this episode is whenever Joel and Ellie get to Kansas City and are rudely interrupted on their trek. So let's get into it. Ranking at number 5, we have Kathleen. So Kathleen is the new villain of episode 4. While we didn't really have any opposition, she is definitely the newest opposition. In Joel and Ellie's case, because her men are the ones that, you know, make them crash and try to kill them, and it's just not a good situation. And it shows whenever she kills the doctor how bad of a person she is. And while they did overthrow Fedra, I don't know, something seems very inhumane about how she treats these people that are in lockup. And while I don't know her story fully, I just don't really like her as a character. I mean, she's very unlikable, and I think that is the whole point, is that she is the villain. And now, ranking at number 4, we have Dr. Edelstein. So, we don't know much about him, but the scene where him and Kathleen are in his cell together and she's trying to figure out where this guy Henry is, he won't give him up. And it just makes him seem like he genuinely cares about this person. But then we find out that this person was responsible for killing her brother. So, I don't know. I mean, he's number 4 because he seems kind of harmless, and he's also a doctor. So I feel like in that world, being a doctor, like, he must have gone through a lot. But also, we don't know much about him. But I like him better than I like Kathleen. That's for damn sure. So he's number 4. Number 3, we have Perry. Perry. Look at that face. Anyway, so Perry is Kathleen's right-hand man and is kind of like her errand boy, but he seems like a genuinely good person, but also, again, we don't know that much about him. He's just there, helping Kathleen. So it really just depends on the circumstances, but he obviously really cared about her brother, and then cares about his men, because then he orders the men to go after Joel and Ellie, or the man who shot up all of his people. And I don't know, he just seems like he has a more positive outlook on the world, maybe, or he's maybe not as bloodthirsty as Kathleen is. He tries to rationalize all of her decisions, which I appreciate, because that girl is crazy. Okay, so we got number 2. So number 2 is Ellie. In this episode, she kind of steps it up when it comes to protecting Joel. When it's, it's supposed to be the other way around, Joel protecting Ellie, but she does end up saving Joel's life, which I think is such a good moment. Well, not for her, obviously, because she has to shoot someone, which no 14-year-old should ever have to do. Well, I think in general, no one should have to shoot anyone, but in this case, she ends up saving Joel's life, which I think is very brave of her, and, she stepped up. We have Joel. So, I chose Joel as number 1 because he is a menace this episode, and completely, protects him and Ellie, gets done what needs to be done, gets them out safely, protects them the entire way until the end of the episode, which you know what I'm talking about if you've seen the show, where 2 special people show up. But I think he did a fantastic job and really pulled his weight. Yeah. So that wraps up my synopsis of episode 4. Thanks for watching. Bye.